When we think of St. Patrick, we often picture shamrocks and green parades and legends of snakes. But the real Patrick, the man behind the myth, offers us something far more powerful, a story of God's relentless pursuit and a life transformed by the grace of Jesus Christ. Now, Patrick was not Irish. He was born in Roman Britain around the end of the fourth century. And while his exact birthplace is uncertain, we know that he was kidnapped by Irish raiders around the age of 16. And for 6 years, he worked as a shepherd. Now imagine the fear, the loneliness, and the sense of abandonment. And yet something unexpected happened. Patrick found God. Sometimes God meets us in places we never wanted it to be. He later wrote how he turned with all of his heart to the Lord, and the Lord had mercy on him. His sufferings became the soil where faith took root. And in the silence of the fields while tending sheep, he learned to pray, not out of duty, but out of a desperate dependence upon the Lord. Well, after 6 years, Patrick escaped and returned home. But God was not finished with him. In a dream, he heard the voice of the Irish people calling out, "Come walk among us again." Now think about that. The very people who had enslaved him became the people he was called to love. And Patrick obeyed, not because it was easy, not because it made sense, but because Jesus had changed him and forgiveness had become his mission. Love became his language and courage became his path. So Patrick returned to Ireland, not with armies, but with the gospel. He preached and baptized and taught and built communities of faith. He faced opposition and danger and hardship, and yet he pressed on. But why? The reason was he believed that no one was beyond the reach of God's love. His famous prayer, "Christ be with me, Christ within me, Christ behind me, Christ before me," wasn't poetry. It was his daily reality. He walked into spiritual darkness carrying the light of Christ. And Ireland was never the same. Now, into what unexpected places has God met you? Who might God be calling you to love even when it's difficult? And what steps of courage is God asking you to take? Now, Patrick didn't see himself as a hero. He saw himself as a servant and a shepherd that had been rescued by grace, sent by God, and strengthened by Jesus Christ. And may the same Christ lead us into places where his light is needed most. And this, my friend, is my Wednesday word for you.